Hey everyone, and welcome back to Episode Club. Today we are going to be talking Season 4, Episode 9, The Watchers on the Wall. And joining me right now happens to be Johnny B. Crazy, aka Johnny B. Baelish. John St. Baptiste will be joining us in a few minutes. He had a busy evening, but we will get his awesome thoughts in a few minutes. But Johnny, introduce yourself to our lovely friends in the chat.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. Hopefully, John will get his ass here as soon as possible. No, I'm just kidding. We love the man. Let's give a few shout outs to the chat right now. We got some very special people here. Bobby Catalano, how are you doing? Catherine Harding, what is up? Glad you got dinner. Bubba Husky, how's it going, Bubba Sparks? LOL. Have to get in on that one. Sasuke, how is it going? The Imagination Realm. What are you doing today? I see you there. The Dog Show. What's going on, my man? Definitely check out the Dog Show. Has some awesome content. Very, very insightful. Very smart man. I act like I'm smart. Dog actually is smart. So go check him out. Julian89, how are you doing today? Good to see you. Einstein said so. Um, little inside joke there. You'll see later. I think that's. Hold on. We had some other people here. I think somebody else popped in, but maybe not. I think I got everyone. You know
Yeah,
me. I'm
yeah. Nah, we
slightly
just
crazy.
we just start the stream and everybody is keeps asking for the best Butts and Westeros stream.
We'll
It's
have to
it's
make that happen next week, I guess.
we'll have to make it happen. Yeah. How about we can always do it on the 1 month out. There, we can do it on the 1 month out, I guess. Well, I think we'll have time. Um, yeah, so we can talk a little bit, I guess, about before we start this episode, with a bit of news because everybody else in the fandom is talking about it, which happens to be the biggest thing on YouTube right now for our community is the Game of Thrones season 8 trailer. I did a video on it. It's my last upload, um, which was just my reaction to it. So Johnny, since you talked about a bit with AU, but what did you think about the trailer?
I thought it was really exciting. John, if you're listening, close your ears, my friend. I know you want no part of this. And don't worry, as soon as you get here, we'll stop talking about that. The trailer, very fun. Seems like we're going to get a lot of action. I don't know how much thought they actually put into the dialogue, but the battle, uh, everything set up for the action sequences is there, and I am excited. I think they'll come through. It's got to be stronger than season 7, in my opinion. Everybody's wondering what Arya's running from, why Cersei is drinking out of a cup. I think everybody drinks out of a cup, so I don't know. No, I'm just being an ass. But there's a lot of fun things to read into there. I've been speculating on it for so long now that I don't know. I'm turned around a little bit. But I do want to see Arya with the dragon glass tip spear, flipping and flopping around like Oberyn. But not getting her head crushed yet. None of that.
Yeah, no. Just a couple thoughts from me. Besides what I kind of said in the video, I'm surprised that yes, they kind of amped up John and Danny in the trailer a tiny bit, but that they didn't like show like a lot of them in a sense. And everybody keeps talking about butts in the chat. We did not see any butts in the trailer, which would have been hilarious. Just to see a little bit of peach butts around in the trailer. But there was some scenes, in my opinion, now that I look back on it, that it looked too much CGI. Um, but that's happens when like half of the things that you were working with is computer generated images. So it's kind of hard to deal with that, but we will have fun.
Hashtag butt sparks. Bobby said, I assume that's where the sparks came from. Oh, Bubba Husky. Boom.
Sasuke has a funny question. A big question. Will we see any butts in season 8?
Yes, we'll definitely get a shot of Grey Worm and that ass.
Grey Worm butt.
And
Hashtag.
Dario with his newly dyed hair leading the Golden Company. We'll see his ass again too. Oh my god, I'm so trolling right now. We can assume that's Harry Strickland, but assuming would be a little too careless in this Game of Thrones
I
universe.
thought some people, like on Twitter, either the people who don't remember or just completely forgot, thought that was Jamie on the boat, on Euron's boat. It's like,
No, it does look strikingly like Jamie at first, and it's like, but it's not. It's not Jamie for sure, but it makes you wonder why he looks like that. Is he gonna be some kind of love interest for Cersei?
the long last, like the guy that actually looks like Prince Charming in Shrek. That's not Jamie, but it's like
Jamie Whispers has some competition. It's Johnny Mumbles. Boom, boom, boom. So no, I mean that would be intriguing. No one thinks of Cersei having any type of other love story besides her just using Euron. But what if she uses him, the leader of the Golden Company, to just kill Euron after Euron has did whatever he's done? I don't know how depleted the Iron Men are, but
Ironborn.
Iron Man. What the fuck am I talking about?
Superheroes. Woohoo!
A long week.
Um,
Iron Man. The Iron Men of the Iron Man are coming
well,
in Westeros. No,
we have
crazy.
Tony Stark, so if Tony Stark just shows up in the middle of season 8,
Oh shit. Oh man. You're my ancestors. I gotta come save you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is where the original Hulk come from. Yeah. The Cranning Man. Um what are we talking about here? I don't
the
even know
trailer
anymore.
kind of, but the Sasuke asked if we will see a butt in season 8. Probably. They'll probably give us one sex scene at least, minimum, because it's HBO. We'll have to do like one or two.
I don't even know if we'll get a John and Danny sex scene. If you think about it, Kit's been stingy with that ass. Only what is it, 2 times? Over 7
They
years?
never. I don't think they ever showed it. Well, hit the. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, only 2 times he's ever had. Well, it's 2 times he's ever had sex, so it's not
Oh my
gonna just
god.
strip naked.
Please don't be Jorah's butt. Does it
Old
have
man
a
butt.
grayscale scab?
Oh no. But
Oh,
hashtag Jorah.
oh god, that's gross.
Oh
Mm.
god. Sasuke says, "I'll take it." Well,
Now we're gonna see some Gendry ass maybe, but I don't see Arya. By the way that Arya is acting, by the way, she's not getting with Gendry, I don't think. It just
no.
does not seem there. Just like I've been saying the whole time, they never cultivated that. And Arya is definitely an asexual character, in my opinion. People laugh at me. Harry Mormont ass. That's right.
Well,
He's got them blazing blonde hairs too, and it's dark in the center, so it looks like it's staring at you.
really, he is a Jorah Mormont from Bear Island, and there's a little bear, so he probably does have a hairy ass.
Hashtag Arendry. I don't think they're getting together in the show. I could see maybe it happening in the books. There's more cultivation
Andrea.
there, a little bit more time.
Yeah.
They rushed that, and I don't think that's gonna play out.
Some
Whatever Arya's journey is, it's by herself. It's alone,
yeah.
which is the key for Arya.
I don't feel like Arya will end up with somebody because she has been a female lead who doesn't need anybody else around her romantically. She's never had. I think she will be one of these actors, besides like Bran, because Bran is obviously a cripple who's never had a sex scene or involved or has had nudity involved, like ever. So
You're
yeah,
saying Bran has to get nude this season just for it
no,
to be fair?
no, I'm just saying it's like Arya and Bran will be the two characters that have never had either a shirtless scene or a scene where they are like nude. I feel like they'll be the only two characters that are alive still that have never had a like partial nude scene or something like that.
Well, their characters seemingly, I wouldn't say are above sexuality, but are on a different plane than people that use their sexuality. I would akin Arya and Bran closer to a Varys type character
Mhm.
because sexual motivations never come into Arya's head, and I don't think this happens with Bran. Now, in the books, when he's a kid, he does kind of find Mira attractive, and you can argue there, but now Bran doesn't have any emotions as far as that goes. What his real motivations are are up for huge debate. You know, he could be the
Mhm.
real bad guy in all this,
Yeah. Mhm.
which would be crazy.
I know that. Yeah. Yeah, and then I guess because we kind of have to talk, I'll briefly mention it because it happened. Sansa saw the dragons for the first time, and she acted like her younger sister, while Jon just flops to the ground when he saw the dragons the first time. So I guess the Stark girls actually stand up when they see the dragons, while Jon, who's actually related to them, just like or related to them through like Rhaegar, just like falls to the ground. It's like you'd think it's the other way around, but funny anyway. Um,
Yeah,
but I feel
you
like
never
it's
know.
probably
She might go to her knees afterwards in the next little part of the clip.
Baldur needs to be
Oh
like,
yeah, his jaw dropped,
mhm.
and it makes you wonder. I guess she's on the outside of Winterfell, helping pull people down to the crypts, probably right there at
It
that
could
point.
it could be a situation where it was kind of like how she was on the outskirts, because I think there was something about like because it's a lot of the imagery is very similar to Robert when he first arrived in the first episode, and Arya was like kind of outside the walls of Winterfell when that happened. So there's probably people like around Winterfell, probably getting food and supplies, because Winterfell is the safest place in the north, as said by Santa last season. So there's probably just people looking for food, and then they just see these dragons flying by, like,
Yeah, you're gonna see Sansa like running shit when we first start off episode one, I believe for sure. She's gonna have everything in motion, possibly even have the bunkers being ready. That
mhm,
is the crypts of Winterfell. I, you know, Bran's gonna know about the way out, so they'll possibly have that prepped because you have Bran there, and he's
mhm.
not just gonna sit around. He has seen what happened in the season finale of season 7, so I don't know. We're just trying to kill some time till John gets here. Do y'all have any questions about season 8 or the trailer?
Bubba says, if Drogon buzzed Sansa, does that make her a Targ as well? Buzzed? Like, enjoy, like,
I don't know, Bubba. I don't even want to begin to contemplate actually what you're saying here. Autocorrect may have just saved your life. Um,
well, she could. Well, this is my John's a theorist in me, that she may be the one to be a part of the Targaryen line because uniting the Seven Kingdoms, like is it like the War of the Roses? She's Elizabeth.
Nah, Santa's marrying Euron, and they're gonna unite their
There was a there was a funny thing that I had saw on Twitter, which is like they want hashtag Storm. I think is the ship name between Euron and Danny. It's like hashtag Storm.
storm. What if they bump holes in the night? You know, storms bump holes in the night. Um,
It was like or I like Storm or hashtag Stormborn or something. It was like some random theory, and it's like because if you look like it was like if you look at the posters of like the all of them on the throne and you put them side by side, it's like those two look like a bam, um, like power couple who could rule the world literally. And Euron did mention he was like, "You should go back to your island, and I'll go back to my island, and we'll just wait and see what happens in the end."
hashtag bump holes. What the hell, Julianne? Okay, so Bubba was talking about like buzzed over the tower.
Like
You know
when it,
how Drogon flew over John.
oh,
John
like
went down. Is it
shaken.
the same kind of symbolism? maybe Sansa is a future Targaryen. To your point, so I think it wouldn't be beyond the realm of possibility for them to get married. But we have to stop talking about it now because Cylon John is spoiler free.
And his camera's not working right at the second.
Oh, heavens.
He's got to switch to dickhead mode. Give him 2 seconds.
Is there anything more frustrating than a work meeting on your day off?
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe a camera with a slash through it. Boom.
Yeah, well, why don't you drive an hour and go talk about inane things for an hour and a half that could take like 5 minutes?
Oh man, I did that earlier talking about the trailer. I talked for like, I think I did talk for an hour and a half. I'm just giving you shit, John. How you doing, man?
I'm all right. A little frustrated right now.
Would you like me to touch you? Hashtag finger things.
Maybe.
Hashtag butt stuff in the chat. Hashtag clown porn.
They want a butt stream, John. Still, like
Okay.
I said,
I'm down for the butt stream. I'm going to drop out for a second and try and figure out what's up with my camera.
Okay.
Okay, bud.
Sorry.
No.
Oh, it's all good, man. We're having fun tonight, man. No pissing John off, Johnny. Okay, I'm sorry, Bobby. I'm sorry.
Bubba says yes, venereal disease.
Damn,
What?
Catherine, that sucks. I know driving a long ways to the doctor's appointment. I've had to do that many times. Get stuck there on your birthday. Sorry about that, Catherine. That sucks.
Sorry. Oh, Tila Angel has joined us. We haven't. Don't worry, we haven't started talking about the episode yet. We're just getting some season 8 trailer thoughts out. Because everybody else on the internet is talking about it, especially in our fandom. So, hashtag down for the butt stream, Julian. And yeah.
Yeah, Otila, who do you think's ass we're gonna see in season 8? Man.
Oh. Is that me? I don't know if it was me or if it was you, because I can't.
No, Johnny drops right on cue. Who do you think we'll see? Whose ass we'll see in season 8? Male, female, eunuch? Let us know. She said, Let's see. Oh, yeah, we'll see Patchface. I thought I saw him doing a cartwheel when we were on ships. I'm pretty sure. I heard some bells jingling. Jingling.
So you want to see Patchface's butt?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wondered if it's tattooed like his face. That'd be cool. Red and green checkered ass. Yeah, it's kind of funny because we're just killing time waiting for John talking about jack shit. Do y'all have any questions?
Hashtag
okay. So we're gonna see Grey Worm's butt, Sasuke, for sure. We're gonna get another very detailed sex scene on what exactly Grey Worm is doing. Hashtag joking. But I still think we'll see his ass again. We're gonna see Joe Dempsey's ass in Gendry. I don't know who he's gonna find, but I feel like he's gonna find him a lover. It's not gonna be Arya, but I feel like he needs to find him a lover.
You could say, I wouldn't be mad if she had to end up with, he had to end up with Sansa, but I'm just saying, it'd be kind of cool. Anyway,
no more butt stuff.
Hashtag butt stuff. We can talk more about the butt stream once we get through the episode.
Jillian says, how do peens work?
How are we going to do the butt stream? Are we going to do like the top 5 guy butts and the top 5 girl butts? Or
Yeah, and we'll have the chat vote on it. I'll probably make an event page for it and be like, put your top 5 list of who you want, and then I'll just try and tabulate some.
And then what we do, everyone picks their own?
Yeah. This is what everybody else thinks, and then we have our own list.
And then
I already know Johnny's list, though. Septim Ordain is on is number 1.
Yes, it's
Septim Ordain. I gotta put Kyburn on there because his wrinkled ass is beautiful. He's got butt implants. He has the first butt implants in Westeros.
Yes, the dog show. We're gonna do a best butt stream. This started a long time ago. Oh, Sasuke says she'll make a spreadsheet for all of the butts.
May I invite myself on the butt stream, or I think I may have already been invited.
Yeah.
At another time.
I think so.
What's up, Rod Dammit? Does anyone think we're gonna see the mountain's gangrenous asshole in season 8?
The mouth.
Everybody's like, what? Gangrenous? You know,
Right.
an asshole full of gangrene.
Well, if he
Everybody's
tries
like,
to
"Good gosh,
find
Johnny."
something, but we'd have to try and find somebody to have
Oh,
sex.
yeah, good point, Dog Show. We will see Mel, huh?
Mm-hmm. Old Mel. Once old Mel ass.
We'll see her transform kind of before everyone's eyes, freaking them out, I guess. That was gross, wasn't it, Bobby? Thank you, Twitter mommy-in-law. Don't you yell at me.
Everybody
By the way,
pick.
Johnny, I'm sorry I was late to the party, but it is so good to see you, sir.
Oh, you too, man. Oh,
I'm glad you're okay.
Terry T, we can explain. Terry T says, "What? Everybody picks their own butt? What did I walk into? We're doing a best butts of Game of Thrones stream sometime soon, and you have to pick which person has the bet you think has the best butt, and we'll talk about it.
Is it just going to be one, like one guy, one
No,
girl?
we'll talk like a few, like who has the ultimate. But you get compile your list, rewatch some of the episodes if you need to. There's probably compilation videos of everything on YouTube now, so who knows? Anyway,
Dog, don't go in room 217. No, man.
anyway, Mel asked Andra, Julian, I saw that. So if you want to talk about the episode, we can.
Sorry again for being late. We had a work meeting today. Oh my gosh. So A, it's on my day off. B, it's at 6 p.m. I left a half hour early and showed up 20 minutes late. And then sat for literally an hour and a half listening to people talk about the most inane shit that could have been taken care of in 5 minutes.
That's funny.
This is like 2.5, 3 hours of my life that God is not going to give me back.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to happen. I'm not going to get it back.
Which moments do you get back? You got to fill me in on that one.
Bubba, I think so. I think so. Because Bubba's asking if Lancel's counts as a butt or an ass.
I guess. I mean, it counts more than Dario's 2.0's back to flat. So, I mean, it's up to you. I guess the ass is all
Lancel's butt's pretty nice, or Ramsey wouldn't have always wanted to top. I mean, gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, and plus, you got to throw Theon in there. He almost got fucked into the dirt. And I don't think he has one hair on his ass, so kudos to him.
Hairless butt. It's kind of a thing.
I'm so dark tonight. I'm sorry.
Well, it's kind of it's a slightly dark episode. We do lose a few people in said episode today. But pun intended.
Hashtag should have stayed in the cave.
Hashtag.
Ooh, I got a good excerpt from the chapter for that too, man.
Yeah,
probably make you cry if you got a soul, but Sasa won't
cry. I won't cry. I'll be like, that'll be my thing. Yes, there will be a reading done by Johnny this live stream. But yes. So for this episode, we start at the wall because we don't move anywhere in this episode. It's all at the wall. I think this is the second time ever that the show has had one location in one episode. So we see the hashtag bromance, that is John and Sam, on top of the wall talking about Egret and kind of talking about how the Night's Watch vows are very lenient. There's there's room for interpretation, as Sam would say. And John asks about Gilly, and Sam is just free to go down and have some rest. So, what do we feel about...
Did you say have some breast?
Rest. Rest. Not breast, but rest.
Sorry, I don't know. Sorry. I was thinking about like what Sam was thinking, just trying to get into his mindset.
Also, awesome, Otila Angel. She says she's starting the episode while we're talking about it. So yeah, John, Sam talk about egret, sex, and Gilly. So, what next? What do you think?
John, I'll let you take it away. I've been blowing hot air for about 30 minutes now.
I'm not going to talk about egret and sex. I'm just going to keep those thoughts to myself. Everybody knows that's my Game of Thrones crush. No, but Sam has a damn good point. Like, this gets back to the whole thing, and this is more of a book thing than a show thing, but the Night's Watch vows have changed. You know, it's kind of like if one studies the priesthood in the Catholic Church. Like, the important thing initially wasn't chastity, it was celibacy. And the entire point was that a priest did not have a family. It wasn't that you don't go get your rocks off. It was that you don't have a family. You don't have a commitment that you may be at risk of placing above the church.
Yeah, love is the death of duty, right?
Yeah, that's why nuns are you in an old amalgamation are called the brides of Christ, because they are literally married to the church. That's the entire concept. And you know, I think I don't think they went anywhere with this in the show, but I think there's a point to it that was important. And you know, especially when you mirror this with the conversation that John had with Eamon about, and the conversation John had with Benjen. Like, especially that, more that I think about it, like, you don't know what you're giving up. And it's not that you're like the satisfaction that one gets from a moment of sexual desire is really nothing compared to the what you get from having a family, what one gets from having children, from having a spouse, from having a partner, all these things. And you know, so at least for me, that was my biggest takeaway. But that's also as a primarily a book person.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. It makes perfect sense. We see that's why that the Kingsguard was vows were modeled after the Night's Watch. I believe didn't Visenya model them the same way? That way, they didn't have anything but their honor to live on, but those deeds in the White Book. And the men at the wall don't even have that. So the least you can give them is a little bit of love at Molestown. And Sam is right here, and this is a testament to Sam's character because he's the. People don't say it, but Sam's sneaky as hell, man. He figures out all these little loopholes, especially in the books. He is key to this whole thing, and I believe this may be foreshadowing for John and Sam never having children of their own. Yes, he has baby Sam, but not an actual physical child that has their DNA, so to speak. Yeah, that might not be a very very what would you call it, popular theory, but I could stick to that. I could see Danny not even being pregnant. But you know,
Yeah.
a little bit of foreshadowing there.
Yeah, it's a good potentially an idea. That would make all the Danny fans and John fans just revolt. Some lovely people have joined us for the chat. Clarissa Thompson, aka fellow Cylon Jill, and Septuagint Secrets has popped in, as well as Elamar and Terry T. Thank you all for joining us to talk about this episode. So, yeah, my kind of thought on this is when Sam just tries to breach the whole conversation of like, how big were her feet? What color was her hair? Like, tell it's like they're having like girl chat, but it's like guy chat at the same time because like they'd probably
I'm
just
not a bleeding poet.
like, of course, the guys obviously talk about that sort of thing, but it's just Sam just being like, "How big was this? Like, did this, like da da da," and he's just like kind of avoid it at the same time, but also talk about it because it's kind of a sore subject for John because they did leave her in just in a uncomfortable situation.
I was thinking about what if it's Littlefinger up there on the wall with him. I could tell you about Sansa, John. Her body is smooth and supple, like a porcelain doll. Her red hair. No, I'm sorry, I won't go too far because Peter Baelish gets creepy, but that would
In
be
John's
funny
defense, he did just get shot in the butt by the woman he lost his virginity to.
Literally, Cupid shot him in the ass.
Yeah,
Once. What was it? An inch away from his heart.
6 inches
come
from my
on.
like and what did I get for an arrow? 6 inches from my heart. So
Is 6 inches like some kind of Easter egg here that we should be grabbing a hold of, right?
well, maybe I don't know. We've talked about the other side of so. Oh, I don't know, but Tormund did say that it wasn't big, so I don't know. Unless, but Tormund, who knows?
Tormund also said he slept with a bear, so we don't know. I mean, oh shit. Oh man, John, I'm bad tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't had internet for days, and you can tell I'm just going insane. Johnny be living up to the crazy tonight.
It's okay.
I thought I was just being a bad influence on you.
Well, I would concur with that. I would say that's definitely part of the problem here.
This video is getting demobilized. We're not monetized, so it's fine. May just get a message from YouTube. Stop with the conversation. Move on. But we're talking about yeah. So pretty much, Sam takes the elevator down, and that we see that there is an owl at the top of the wall, and that the owl is controlled by the Thens because they lost Tormund and Ygritte lost their warg to John, so that's kind of funny. And we go to Ygritte and Ygritte's camp where she's just talking about making arrows, and if anybody kills John, she's just gonna kill them too, because she wants to kill him and hang his fun bits around her neck. So
why is she so stingy with her ginger mint as well? That's something that kind of bothers me. Everybody's pent up around there. No, this shows how much she's in love with John. I mean, the Thin is right. I can't even remember his name. I don't want to remember it. It's kind of a dull, weird character. Thank you, Attila. Cabin fever. Don't listen to me sing. Anyways, yeah, I really like how she stood up for herself here. But he was right. He was reading her like a book. How much she's talking. Tormund had his reservations, but she was hoping he was alive. She was hoping she would see him, but also dreading the fact that maybe she'll have to kill him. Maybe someone else will kill him before she can get to him. That was kind of her worst fear. You can't win for losing in this situation, and she knew this going in. But she knew what she had to do. This is her people. Goes back to honor and this whole tribalism thing that they're fighting against. Door slam. But yeah, hashtag bit chains.
Yeah, and when she's talking about this too, Tormund's boasting about the fact that he has had sex with the bear. Some people may think that this is his connection potentially to Mage Mormont. I don't know if that's like a thing because now I think people thought that maybe he's Lyanna's daughter, like or like that she's his daughter or something, but which would be pretty cool. But I don't know, like Ygritte, she's a woman scorn, and even though she killed him, not killed him, she almost killed him, she still loves him, and it's still like especially this episode, it just makes you go like, oh, but also like kind of happy though that the pair in real life did have a happy end or do have a happy ending. So, John, what do you think?
Never have backyard barbecue hot dogs with a thin. That's right, Terry T.
I'm trying to think. There's another book that someone has to, like, it's decided that somebody's going to die, and the person who's closest to them says, "I'm the one who has to do it. None of you can."
Like another.
It might be The Godfather, I think. Like, I'm the one who has to take care of this. Nobody else can. Like, if I'm going to make this, no, it's not The Godfather. Oh, bloody.
It's an older movie than that, but I can't think of fucking what it is.
Of Mice and Men. Of Mice
There
and
you
Men.
go.
Whoa. Yeah, it's not just the movie, it's the book. Like, when George has to take, what's his fracking name? It's only 80 pages. I should remember this shit. I haven't read it since 7th grade, but
Someone will put it in the chat.
Lemmy. When George has to take Lenny out, he's like, I have to do this. Like, okay, this has to be done. This is, and it kind of fed back to me a bit with Egret, with John. It's like, I love this person. I care about this person. But I understand from our perspective as wildlings who, are trying to take down the wall, this is where what we need to do. Well, that's mine. You can all bugger off. I'll take care of this. Tell me about the rabbits,
and the deer, and
the pretty girl.
The pretty girl. Oh, yeah. At the tail end of this scene, we see a person walking by, but cradling something in their arms, which comes to pass in a later scene. But after that, we see Sam talking with Maester Aemon about love, potential lost loves, and about books as well, and how Sam feels like he can't fight against the wildlings. So, what you think? And we may have found a person that Maester Aemon may have been talking to, and I can let Johnny talk about that maybe, and if he comes back.
Yeah, which part are we talking about?
Maester Aemon talking to Sam about like love's lost. And
yeah, what would you know of love? How do you know of holding a newborn babe in your? No, but that goes back to John. He's sitting here telling Sam who he was. Sam, this is where he finds out he's Aemon Targaryen, right?
He understands who. He's like, I could have tell you who I was, who I could have been if I only said the words.
Smart as Sam is, like he does math pretty slow.
Yeah. Right? Well, he's caught in them books. And everybody check out Bravosi broadcast, by the way. I linked it in the chat. And he's caught in the books, but right there in front of his eyes is a treasure in Maester Aemon. This man right here, one of my favorite characters throughout this whole series. The actor portrayed him perfectly. Rest in peace. Oh, just what? Why are you whispering at me?
I said Peter Vaughn. That's the actor's name, Peter Vaughn.
Well, goodness gracious, just say it. Stop whispering at me. People are ASMR with Sasa here. Goodness.
And the only character the only character to have died of old age ever in the show.
Yeah, and he can talk. He talks about the woman he loved, and he can still see her face, but he can't even necessarily remember all these other things. And he talks about the ironies of becoming old and all of these books, but no eyes to read. And he knows the library so well. It's heartbreaking, but it also shows Sam that you keep finding reasons for living, keep finding things to hold on, to keep going on. You don't let shit hold you back. Maester Aemon had many things holding him back, but he did not let it affect him. He kept going. He was a badass man, and he could tell if anybody was lying. I don't know. I'm just kind of gushing on Maester Aemon here because we don't see him. What's after this? Goodness gracious. Anyways, go ahead.
We're allowed to gush, but John, what do you feel about Maester and Sam's conversation?
Well, no, I think that's the crux of the whole thing, and I think a lot of it feeds back. Like there was the conversation that he had with Jon Snow. There was the conversation that Benjen had with Jon Snow. Like, you know, it kind of makes you want to look back in the books or in the show, because everyone is telling Jon, like, you don't know what you're giving up. Like, you might just be a bastard, but you know what? You're a rich bastard. Like, I'm rich, bitch. Like, and you're giving all this up, and you don't even know what you're sacrificing. And for me, it's a little more poignant in the books, because in the books he's 14. You know, he's a 14-year-old. How many good decisions did you make at 14?
All the best, man. What the fuck you talking about?
Okay, well, I can't personally remember a single one. I mean, I got above passing marks, but besides that, I can't remember a single.
Bobby says 0, and by Elmore.
John made all 61s in high school.
Yeah, actually, John, I graduated with a 3.75.
Nice.
I graduated with a negative 7.
Hi, Barbara McCall. Sorry, I forgot to shout you out, but thank you for stopping by, everybody. Yeah, but what were you saying, John, about Maester Aemon? That he's like a...
I was just, it keeps this whole episode, and I think to an extent this, because, you know, I do like the season breakdowns with music. Mm-hmm. I think it brings home this whole concept of paying for something before you get it. If that makes any sense. Like, you don't realize what you're buying, and buyer's remorse, so to speak. Like, John was given the Lord's kiss in the cave, and he had some serious buyer's remorse. And now that he's been shot in the ass, and he's got like...
I don't think John got a Lord's kiss. I think he gave one and then got shunned afterwards.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said he was given. Giving.
Wait.
He gave it.
Given means he got one. Hold on, you're confusing me.
I don't know Egert was into that, but...
Damn it, I didn't see John give any type of Hummers in there.
Now everybody's talking about their grades in high school in chat. I love... Or if they passed or anything, failed anything. But yeah, the fact that Sam is... maybe Maester Aemon sees a lot of Sam in himself, like when he was younger. Of course, obviously, there's the...
He sees at least 2 or 3 of themselves in Sam. Boom.
And the one, because Johnny and I had tried to figure out who he could potentially be talking about, because we meant to do this episode on podcast, but because of unfortunate situations, we're doing it live today with all of you. And we feel like this woman could have been, hold on, if I pull it up properly, the link, Bertha Blackwood. She was her husband was, not Eris, it was, hold on. If I pull it up properly and I read it, she was the wife to Aegon the Fifth Targaryen, which is Maester Aemon's younger brother. So, and she's described to be a beautiful lady in the book. So, we don't know much about her, but look
What'd
her
you
up
say
on
her
Wiki.
name was again?
Betha, Betha.
That's it. Betha Blackwood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I'm trying to remember the history behind that, but the Blackwoods and what's the other house, John? I'm not thinking of. Brackens. Is it the Brackens? Yeah, that's it. Big
It's the
family feud
Brackens.
time.
Yeah. The Blackwoods and the Brackens.
It's a lot like the Hatfields and McCoys. Yeah, right there, man. No doubt.
Jinx,
Yeah.
you owe me a beer.
All right, no, I'll get you at con, my friend, for sure.
Yeah. And
Not
so,
that Betha Rod, a better looking Betha, actually.
and she eventually married Aegon the Fifth Targaryen, and they had many children. But because Maester Aemon said he, in the episode before or something like that, he talked about the women that he has met and the people that he could have potentially married. And since he gave up the title, he probably gave up the lady too. So who knows? We also did. I think it was Fake or someone who said it could have been Olenna. Sure, but if you're basing it off of book ages, Aemon is too old. But yeah.
Yeah, and Olenna was betrothed to Daeron the Second Targaryen. Was it Daeron the Second?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it's Daeron the Second. But he was a known sword swallower, or at least rumored to be. And this is why I think she definitely has accepts Loras more. She grew up around this. This is still kind of rumors, but there's a little hint there. And so she chose someone who could love her. She wasn't really interested in that. She went more for love than for her whole honor thing. And, begs the question, how bad of a person could she be if she passed up possibly being queen?
I have to disagree on that one. As a Tyrell, I think that Olenna went for what she could own. His father was a stupid person. I'm not allowed to quote this on a.
He's an oaf. There you go.
Channel.
I could see that. It seems like it would probably be a smarter, more cushy decision, but also she seems later to resent the decision she made, right? Maybe even regret it.
Agreed, but seriously, do you want to marry a Targaryen?
No, especially not during that fucking time. This is everything after the Dance of Dragons. I mean, I can't think of a good time with the Targaryens. You got Jaehaerys and Alysanne, but is most of that fucking just propaganda is an issue, and that's really the only
Propagarian.
Yeah. And you have
Hashtag new word, propagarian.
Viserys the First reign was, considered very peaceful, but this is when all the rumblings and Game of Thrones and backstabbing was going on. But I could talk about Fire and Blood for millennia. We're going to hit that up soon. Sorry it got delayed. It was going to be Friday, but be looking out for that while I'm thinking about it. Sorry, everyone.
Oh, it's funny. There's some thoughts on the chat. Sasuke says that Olenna went for a dummy so she could be in charge. Good choice. Fake Arya says that the red wines could easily manipulate the Tyrells more than the Targaryens. Catherine Harding says, I would marry Targaryen, but I would buy a toot tin for sure. Yeah, if you don't know what Catherine's talking about, go check out last week's Cylon Johns episode where we talk about a special announcement in there about a tin. Not for toots, but a tin.
Tune in this week for the winner as well. So you're going to like it. We'll just tease it just like that because that's what we do on that channel, right, John?
Oh, yeah. We're teasers.
And if you haven't checked it out, check out the special Cylon number 7 message for this week. It was awesome. Anyway,
that copy is really just says things he shouldn't.
Yeah.
He's a flaky douchebag, I'd have to admit. I definitely agree.
And after Mace Draymond basically is like, go, Sam, stop wasting candles, let's go. Sam finds Gilly outside the gate walls with Pip, and Pip's just like not wanting to let her in, and Sam says, Pip, open the effing gate. Like, Pip, open the fucking gate. Like, this is like the first time that like Sam's swore at anybody, but especially Pip. And Pip's like, I've never heard you curse before. He says, best get used to it. So Gilly is now back with Sam, which was his worst fears are now averted as of last episode. So,
well, can I say, like, right here and throughout this episode, we see that Sam, under pressure, when his life is on the line, steps up to the damn plate every single time. I mean, he has Pip dying in his hands later and owns that shit. Does it like a fucking real grown up, like a father would a son. He holds his hand and stays there. He took it as good as anybody could possibly take that. And just really impressed with Sam. I'll let y'all talk about it a little more, but I just wanted to say that. Love Sam.
Yeah, and like we've talked about on previous episode clubs, just Sam and Gilly's relationship is just so sweet and innocent. But John, what do you feel about Gilly now arriving back at Castle Black?
Well, no, okay, this is a very humorous perspective to put it in, but okay, me dropping an F-bomb is like the Hound dropping an F-bomb. Like, nobody really notices even. Like, I have a foul mouth because I can't use a foul mouth remotely in my real life. So when I'm not at work, it comes out a lot. Me dropping an F-bomb is like the Hound dropping an F-bomb. Sam dropping an F-bomb is like you dropping an F-bomb. And people are like, oh, hey, whoa, Kenzie just said fuck.
I did say it in my trailer reaction.
You did?
It has a lot more meaning and weight that way. Well.
If that makes sense. Like, it shows that he's like really serious about this. I remember my mom never swears, and my mom, when she got diagnosed with her heart disease, personal John story, but my mom had a heart attack and she got diagnosed with heart disease and had to change her diet and all these things. And we were having lunch, and my mom, who I had never heard swear in my life, was like, I just want some fucking salt. And I was just like, whoa.
That's right, brother.
It's kind of the same thing when Sam swears. Like, you're just like, whoa, hey, okay, I'm going to pick up and take notice of this.
Yeah, everyone does. Pip's ears seem to percolate slightly when this happened. And yeah, Bubba Husky, we call it cussing around here. So get it right, John. No, I completely agree. Like, my grandmother has probably said shit 3 times in my entire lifetime. But when she says anything, even if she says freak, it seems to just her cadence, because she's never mad. Especially the older generation that tend to hide their feelings a lot more. We don't see that as much with emos like myself. So.
Yeah, like, yeah, swearing is I don't do it very often, but sometimes it's something that comes out. Like, yeah. But Sam, I feel like he may do another swear word may slip out at some point. But yeah, there's at the same time that Gilly arrives in the wall, the horns for Mance's army shows up. and Sam puts Gilly in a safe place with baby Sam. And they go prepare for the battle that starts. And we see John on top of the wall with more men and Alistair Thorne, who talks about what they're going to do next and how they have to survive. So, let's see. What do you think? The first part.
I'm turn first. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So this is when
Alistair Thorne talks about like leadership and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, especially when you know what happens later. I'm trying to think of the right words that I would feel here. I do respect Alistair Thorne. He's honest. He tells you what he thinks. He doesn't hold back. Yeah, he committed a little treachery, but if you get down to it, he did what he thought was right. Do I like the person? Fuck no. I'd like to punch him in the face, but it's just a character. And he's a well-written character, a good person to love to hate. And that's what I love about this show as well. And he makes great points here. You know, if we live, we can go back to fucking hating each other, man. But right now, we got to work together. And John learns from this. This is a big key to him. And I think he definitely respects Alistair Thorne forever after this. Even though he does get betrayed, ultimately killing him, losing his respect for Thorne. But, you know, high character for Thorne at a moment when I guess this is the peak for his character, right, John? Or Saza? Bastard. Who's a bastard?
The only thing that Alistair Thorne does through this entire series that I disagree with is having a remote modicum of faith in Jonah Slint. Otherwise, I agree with everything Alistair does. I think from his perspective, it's an intelligent decision. I think everything Alistair Thorne has done has been wise, has been smart, has been the safest route to take. But why do you trust that shady ass bald motherfucker? Like, seriously. I've never had any hate for him.
That's what's wrong with Alistair Thorne. His judge of character is way off, right? He hates John, but the brown nosed Janos Giles Slint, you know, he just loves that guy. But we see what Slint's balls are made of this episode.
God, Janos Slint, we only have to deal with him for a few more episodes. My gosh. But what Janos Slint says to John says he talks about how every leadership is often second guessed by clever little twats with a mouth. And since he's the man that's in charge, he feels like he's being second guessed by everybody else. And then Thorne has the archers prepared to shoot. And shoot and rain fire down from above with the arrows. And then we jump back to Sam and Gilly after that, which is just Sam and Gilly and baby Sam are in a storage room, and Gilly doesn't want Sam to leave ever. So, what do we feel about this?
Promise me you won't die. We just see Gilly's overwhelming love for Sam, and you can argue that she's pretty much forced into loving him. But aren't we all forced into loving someone? And isn't this how it works? You get forced together. Hey, they didn't have to like each other. This blossomed naturally because Sam is the Slayer and will slay the Night King. Hashtag bold predictions. Hashtag most interesting Johnny in the world. But I do like this. It's so funny. Sam gets sassy right here. She says, "You promise you'll stay with me?" Well, not in the same room, you know. And he tells her he has to go out there. He can't be a coward, and this is the running theme for this. I believe this showcases Sam uh, almost more than anyone. You know, you have John highlighted here, but really, Sam's the one running around doing the most courageous things. John's doing what's expected of him. Sam is rising above. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. Especially when I describe it, isn't it?
Mhm.
Such a conceited asshole.
Yeah. Sam and Gilly's relationship, like you said, Johnny, it's just a very sweet one. And she's like, "Don't leave me." It's like, I have to leave. I have to go do my job. And it's like, I'm a man of the Night's Watch. I have to do my job. And I have to protect the realms of men. And like, yes, you are involved in the realms of men, but I have to go protect everybody else and do my job. But then they share a kiss in the end, which everybody's kind of talking about, is the cute little kiss between Sam and Gilly. 'Cause that's the first time they've had physical contact besides holding hands, which is cute. Since like Sam got brave enough to kiss Gilly.
Well, they locked eyes while she was defeathering a duck. So I mean, how much more sexy time can you get, right? Hashtag sex toys. Hashtag squeak squeak.
Hey, let's go back. Yeah, there's, I don't know. John, what do you feel about Sam and Gilly in this?
Okay, so I'm a music person. You know this. I mean, so you know what I thought? Like I have to do this. When I first watched this, I need you now tonight. Yes, I need you more than ever. And if you're lonely, hold me tight.
You gotta cut it right there.
On forever.
You gotta stop. You can only do a small snippet. I think we're good though. That's killer, John. Man, I need that on the soundboard. I have to look that up. Anyways, hashtag in the chat. Smokeahanas.
Hi.
What's going on?
Yeah, everybody's also talking about like how Sam watched Gilly give birth to baby Sam. So hey, hashtag bonding with that moment. Sasuke says, "Bonnie Tyler, a Canadian artist for me."
Have you ever watched A Baby Be Born?
No.
Okay, well, I have. I think I'm the only parent on the panel right now, right?
Yes.
Like I've watched A Baby Be Born, and it was my own, my wee little baron who's your age.
Hashtag stay above the waist if you ever want to have sex again. John's celibate now, and now you know why.
That's why. You just. I'm surprised Sam then wants to have sex afterwards. Who knows? What did we get ourselves into now?
Oh my gosh.
Sasuke needs a hero. I need a hero.
But yeah, it's an emotional moment. It really is. Whether it's your own child or not, like, you know, it's just life progressing and things like that. I'm really trying to keep it serious here, Mackenzie. I'm doing my best.
No, it's
Well, a man can only be brave when he's afraid.
Yeah,
and Sam admits to being afraid now.
Yeah, a person can only be brave when they're afraid. Agreed entirely. You know, I forget who originally said that. And it isn't from Game of Thrones. It's a much older quote.
Anybody notice Lamy fucking a sheep in the corner? I thought you were gonna keep going, John. I was just kind of throwing that in the middle.
Sasuke, it was when, because he hears Gilly screaming, and then he pokes his head in and sees that it's a baby boy. So pretty much,
He's like, "Oh fuck, I'm fat." and I'm a boy, and I hang out with a bunch of celibate monks. I don't know what to do with this baby thing, but
What do I do?
guess I'll try my best.
But yeah, who knows?
Anybody can do better than Craster.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to keep the baby out of the hands of the others. You're a better father than Craster.
Literally.
Literally let the baby breathe. You're a better father than Craster.
Imagination Realm says, "What the fuck's a Lami?"
Lami is one of the main characters in Night Flyers. Germ's actual favorite character in that novella.
Promoting Germ's other work.
If you want to know something interesting, I will be doing Night Flyers and Lami. If you haven't seen it, check it out. The ending to that could have some connotations of what happens at the ending of Game of Thrones, especially A Song of Ice and Fire in the books. You have this really obscure ending that happens inside of a blue, red pulsating type brain alien that travels through, you see the past, present, and future kind of all at the same time. Also, Lami, the main character, can port straight into basically a computer, and it's a lot like the Weirwood net. So it's really cool. It's set in space. It's like a space horror. Very interesting. But I just throw that out there. If you haven't seen Night Flyers, check it out.
It's like on Sci-Fi Channel or something. Oh, and Sasuke goes, "Oop!" I was like, "Oops! Hello, there's your match." Like what Sam was thinking. Sasuke just asked if you've watched the show. Yes, you have all of it, and
yes,
you've talked with Lauren about this on her channel.
Yeah, the first half of the season we talked about on her channel. It's in my playlist. It'll link you straight to Lauren's channel. Either way, you can find it in my playlist or on Lauren's channel. And we'll be doing that probably within a week. It was supposed to happen Monday, but my internet went out. Definitely check that out. I'll give y'all time to watch it because you'll get kind of hooked into it. At first, you're confused as hell, and then it sucks you in. Kind of just, it's a classic Germ story.
Mm-hmm. And after Sam and Gilly share a kiss, Sam and Pip prepare the bow and arrows in their little area, which is like, looking back at it now, it's like, oh, bow and arrows, and Pip, it's like, but then they talk about how Sam has been able to kill White Walker, and that he wasn't afraid, and that how he's like, yeah, that he wasn't afraid to do it, and that he became somebody else when he killed the White. And then we see Egret just seeing Sam and Pip prepare their section of the battlements for this, and they just basically she and all their little group just take off running towards the wall. And we see the mammoths and the giants on the other side.
And there are definitely giants and mammoths in the White Walker army right now that we see coming up on Winterfell later in season 8. But right here, Sam really goes and explains to Pipar everything basically about being brave. It's not necessarily a conscious decision. It was just a reaction on Sam's part, and something took over him. Now, Tinfoil would say, "Hey, Bran probably warned him. He was standing next to her with him." No, this is just a definite metaphor for what true courage is. What actually overcoming and being brave is. Because in the moment, everything's fuzzy. Everything even slows down. You don't feel like yourself. You go into the state of adrenaline to where you feel almost invincible, but you're numb at the same time, and you're not in control of your movements. That's why people train in fighting. That's why you train that muscle memory, because when you get in the thick of shit, that's what's going to take over what your body naturally remembers. So It's kind of a good ode to that and the whole show. Yeah, everything with Sam just fucking lays over the entire episode right here about being a warrior, about fighting, about courage. I don't think I could say any more. At least about that. I could talk a little more about the Giants, but I'll let you talk. It's your show.
Yeah, like Sam is just awesome, and to kind of tell Pip like you can't be scared. That like we live in a world where pretty much you have to do what you have to do. Like any moment now, you have to go heal some people. So yeah. And when Egret's kind of watching them, it's like kind of funny because it's like your girlfriend's ex, or like your girlfriend's, your ex-girlfriend is now watching your best friend just have like be by himself with another friend. So it's like it's weird how like all of these people have this dynamic and this relationship with each other that they don't really know about slash like understand. Like last episode we talked about, or last episode on in podcast format, we talked about how Gilly and Egret basically have this some sort of pseudo relationship, even though they know neither one existed until that point when Molestown was attacked. And their connection to each other is through the men that they had dated, which is Sam and John. So it's funny to see like all of these people who have connections to others, to each other for the first time. So, John, what do you feel about Sam talking to Pip about bravery and like Egret and Tormund's group headed for the front part of Castle Black?
First, can I be nerd meta with fandom? And just ask, as you're both members of the Cylon Johns and Jills, can you see Sam becoming a raging alcoholic eventually?
Yeah, there could be like a like there hasn't been really scenes with him just drinking copious amounts, but I feel like if he's one of the only survivors of the show, yeah, he'll become an alcoholic. If it's like him.
Like I'm thinking, I'm referring basically Sam Saltai. Like,
but
yeah, to me,
don't see
no.
Gilly as Ellen though. Gilly is not Ellen Todd.
To me, I would see him.
Sorry, I just had to bring that up. I thought it was kind of funny.
I don't know who I would compare him to, but I don't know about Saltai. I definitely don't see him as having the personality to be addicted like that. It doesn't seemingly have addictive personality, except for books. Now, could something leading to drinking? Why are we psychoanalyzing Sam here?
No,
maybe I am.
It was a funny question more than anything. I didn't even.
It's Johnny's gonna just go, and I'll talk about myself in the third person like an asshole. Whatever, man. I'm psychoanalyzing Sam because you're. Oh man, I took you seriously.
Hashtag whatever, man.
But no, one of the things and I think the scene kind of condenses it. One of the things I love about this episode is it really gives you the perspectives of everyone who's involved with what's going on at the moment.
Clarissa said Sam is Hilo. I would agree. Maybe. Yes. At least up to this point.
Yeah, where
up
we
to
are.
This point. I see Sam with the tin cup in his hand. Sorry, Clarissa.
Sasuke says, I think Sam is an emotional eater. She admits like herself. So he's already gotten to his vice of choice. Although she's not seen BSG, so she doesn't get the reference.
How many times have you seen Sam eat, though? This is a conundrum that we must deal with. I think Sam is a magical being. He is a wizard. And he comes from Trolley Lolly Lolo Day. I think it's something that Egret mentioned. So
Yeah.
there you go. Boom. I even used a clip to prove my shit.
Yeah, and if you all saw my tweet that I made for this episode, I'm sorry, but I had to use it. It was the GIF of her saying, "Oh, save me, Jon Snow." What? Because yeah. Anyway, now we think now the chat thinks like Sasuke thinks that Sam has low thyroid function. What are we doing? This is like an all Sam all the time.
It's a
live
hashtag
stream.
diagnosis live stream.
Sam's kind of the focus of this episode, though. Like it's really not Pretty John.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Sam's gonna be the fucking hero.
Well, not just that. Sam's the common person. You know, if you look at the other big battle episodes, if you look at Hard Home, if you look at Blackwater Bay, the big focus people aren't the big movers and shakers. Like it's the common people. GRM will drive this home with a nail into your forehead that war is bad and it is going to it affects the common people more than anybody, which I agree with. I really do agree with that sentiment quite a bit, but I think if I remember correctly, and Kenzie, you probably knew this. Was this the last episode that GRM wrote?
I feel like it was the finale, which was the children. I can quickly check.
Because it's just very much his.
This was written by D. This episode was written by D&D.
Okay.
Let's see. I think it might have been Tywin's death episode. No, this was also written by D&D. I think probably the last one. I think the last episode was
the episode before this was the last episode that GRM wrote.
Oh yeah, so that was the Mountain and the Viper. So that was Oberyn's death episode. Yeah.
But it really drives home that concept that war somebody's going to lose, somebody's going to die, and that's the biggest thing you take away from this. I mean this. You have this big threat of the White Walkers, and what are we worrying about? We're worrying about people who, when this wall was built, some of them lived over here and some of them lived over here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, when the wall was built, they were all Craster's kids.
Yeah. Everything.
And the ones who lived on that side, really, the reason they were stuck there is just because they didn't want to bend the knee. They didn't want to suck somebody's asshole.
Hey, Amanda Kane, how are you? Yeah, it's a good segue. How's it going? Yeah, I'd say top 5 for me for sure as well, Amanda Kane, no doubt.
Yeah, it's a really good episode, and this is where the big parts of the fighting happen, where it's the two groups start to fight each other, with Ygritte and her group attacking the front of, I guess, the north part of the wall, and then there's everybody else at the back, aka behind the wall.
If I may, something has been pointed out by someone who's really big in our community. Will Sam ever be a wizard?
Oh, come on. I just said that a minute ago. I was about to address that. Stop taking my shit,
Oh,
John.
Smokeahontas with her.
Okay, so look, definitely Sam's going to be a wizard for sure in the books. He's already set up at Marlin's Tower with studying the magic arts. So I think for sure, and he already is, what is a wizard? Someone who has knowledge and casts magic. Magic can just be technology we don't understand, and I do think in the books for sure Sam will have access to some type of magic, at bare minimum, a glass candle. So I see that definitely happen, smoking honest. I don't even think that's that much of a tinfoil Sam becoming a wizard, at least metaphorically. He already has in the show, in my opinion. And but we could see that extend more. He is basically the right hand man to the three-eyed raven. Uh, yeah, that could even consider him to be a wizard right there. He basically speaks to the person who can see through space and time. So, yeah, and he writes words on paper, and he can understand them. So to Gilly, he's a wizard, and maybe that's all that matters.
You understand scratches on paper. And also, he cured Jorah's grayscale, something that whatever Archmaester, whatever his name was of last season, was like, no one's ever attempted that before in like 50 years or something like that. So, Sam is a magician. Is it possible for Sam to tap into some magic while he's at Winterfell? Maybe. I don't know how they'll probably spend at least 3 episodes in the north, or he will maybe. So
If a ritual of the old gods of the children has to be performed, I believe Sam will do it for Bran. So I could see something like that happening. They're going to call upon something and get desperate, even if it's somehow invoking R'hllor. Yeah, I had to ponder on that for a second, but I could see it. I could definitely see it. I wouldn't throw that out of the realm, especially what they're going with. Mm-hmm.
I'm not asking for a date. At some time, will you and I actually have our Glass Candle podcast?
Oh yeah, yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I got so much going on. I forgot about that. Goodness gracious,
Dude,
man.
it can
Yeah,
be
we
like
got to
2
do that.
fucking years from now. Well, I don't know. If I keep smoking these, it might not be 2 years from now. But
No, we'll get it a little quicker than that. That way, I don't have to interview you from a coffin or whatever. Even though you sleep in one, could just do it.
#vampire.
You wouldn't even have to get up.
dude, it's comfy. Coffins are comfy. Okay, they're really comfy.
No, Glass Candle. Definitely want to talk about that. We can even maybe do a podcast with some visuals and stuff, and some showing some excerpts from the book. So yeah, we'll work with that. What do y'all think in the chat? You want a live stream or a nice podcast with visuals and a premiere? Just let me know. Blah blah blah. Self promotion on Sasa's channel.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, but we keep getting sidetracked. But it's like the beginning of the fighting. What do we think about this? I'll put in my 2 cents. It's like, yes, we get to see Ygritte be badass with some bows and arrows and trying to kill some people. And but then we also see Alistair Thorne giving orders, even though we all know that he's not going to stay up there for very long because he's acting commander. So he'll have to pass it off to somebody else. But we also see mammoths and giants for the first time. And the giants in this episode were Mag the Mighty and another, the other giant in this episode was Dongo.
What the fuck, man? Why Dongo? Mag the Mighty, 1-1, and Dongo.
One wasn't in this one.
No, I'm just saying we have names of giants, and then there's Dongo out of nowhere. Like Mag the Mighty has a long name like 1-1. What's Dongo? Dongo Wongo Bing Bongo? I mean, I don't know what's going on here, where they come up with that name, but that did bother me slightly when I found out the name of that giant. Although, very cool with the mammoths. Ygritte, to your point, Sasa, was a badass with that bow. She didn't hold it too long. She drew, tracked, shot. That was really cool. I actually enjoyed that archery scene, which you don't see archery portrayed that well, especially in TV shows, but because it doesn't look as good. But this looks cool as fuck. She's badass out there looking like Hawkeye or something. And did she do all her own stunts? No, she didn't even run. because she looked weird doing that, but whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
when it was the first time we meet her, when she does the running, when they make her do the running, they're like, "No, you're not running." She did a couple of test runs, and the director's like, "No, you're not running. Bring in the stunt double."
Can I? Oh yeah, that was so funny. And can I say to the point about Alistair Thorne? You see that he says the right things, he gives the right commands, but he does not inspire them. They still have fear. They still are trembling in fear before this battle, and they shouldn't be. They should be inspired. They should be fired up. The adrenaline should be flowing, and it's not. They're scared. John can see this. Uh, Alistair Thorne just screams at them more, and he's not a leader. He's a good number 2, honestly, if he knew his place. But to his credit, he does go down. Doesn't he get called down right here? We'll talk about what he does later,
Yes.
but yeah, go ahead,
I wouldn't
John.
even say they're so much scared because, like we talked about earlier, like the biggest part of courage is doing what you need to do when you're afraid.
Mhm.
But they're not inspired. When
Yeah.
I
They
10 episodes ago, 339, when Tyrion's like, "Those are brave men out there. Let's go kill them." Like Tyrion can do that. Thorne doesn't inspire his.
Yeah, it's not until John shows his leadership that they really just get the ball rolling in terms of following someone who's a leader, because we got Alistair Thorne and then Janos Slint, 2 people who technically shouldn't be responsible for the wall, trying to lead.
The Giants are just made up. There's no Giants.
Giants
They're
don't
right
exist.
there, bro.
Giants don't exist.
We have
Hashtag
to
oblivious.
disagree on that one. I think Alistair Thorne's fine for his job. I think he's not inspiring. I totally agree with that. But yeah, Janos Slint is just a word I'm not allowed to say on Kenzie's show.
Julianne, hashtag he's a good number 2.
I see you next Tuesday. Yeah, that they need men. Yeah, because Alistair is called down below because they need men to fight, and Alistair orders Janos Slint
penetrated through the rear. So
yeah, orders Janos Slint to command the wall during the melee, and we see that Tormund and Stir and Egret take the wall, and they kill off some men. And this is where Pip is not so. They show off that Pip's not so good with bow and arrow. There's a reason why he was a steward, and they also start.
He's got a crossbow. He's just got a point and shoot, man.
And there's the wildling starting to climb the wall, and then we also see Ollie for the first time this episode, where Alistair just makes it to the bottom of the wall, and he starts to give his speech about fighting and the men and how they have to. Do you want to die here tonight and all this stuff? So. Yeah, they got. Yeah. So what do we think about all of these scenes? Because they all kind of smash together. It's really hard to describe them all separately, but hello.
Yeah. Janos gets command. Alistair, he goes down, gives a little fight. We see there. We start to see them scale with grappling hooks here too, so they're going kind of all out. But if you notice from the beginning, all the wildlings aren't attacking at once. This is just Mance testing the wall. They think they're fighting the full force kind of at the moment, when you're thinking about it, but we realize later that it's just a small number of them. Why they sent out their seemingly 2 out of 3 giants, I'll never know. If it was just a test attack. But I'm guessing if they could have got that gate open, Mance would have sent the rest of the people through there, right? You know, we see Ollie here throughout the episode. This is Ollie's wall, by the way, and he controls who lives or dies here, at least for as long as he's alive. You know, Ollie has the right of it. His mama and papa were killed, so he's going to kill every wildling he ever sees. He definitely gets him some good egret, but we'll talk about that later. But it's good here, you know. Alistair personally leads them there, and he makes a good show of it, even though he isn't as badass as he thinks he is. And I'll stop talking for just a second so someone else can come on and chime in while I'm just bullshitting.
John? What do you feel about like the whole Alistair Thorne trying to give his speech and all of that before?
You know, like I said, I think Alistair Thorne, he may not be leadership material, but being thrust into the position, I think he did his best. Like, I'm not remotely an Alistair Thorne hater, and as we establish every time you have me on your show, I'm more of a book person than a show person. But you know, because Alistair Thorne on the show conglomerates like 4 characters. But you know, I don't see a bad reasoning behind any decision he makes besides trusting Janice Slint, who's like the slimiest piece of shit that's ever come out of like the slimiest asshole in the world. But you know, so that I like Ollie. I could give a frack about Ollie. Like, I really don't care about the kid. Yeah, you watched your parents die. A lot of people have watched their parents die. We're in the middle of a war. You know, suck it up. Grissom balls. Sorry. I've never felt any sympathy for that character. First time I read the books, I didn't feel any sympathy for that character. It's like, you know, yeah, you know, everybody's suffering. You know,
Jenna Slint, former Lord of Harrenhal. There are so many of those. It's changed hands throughout the years.
Yeah.
I wonder if
that's
the
like
children of
something
the
to put
forest
on
are
your
hungry.
resume. Former Lord of Harrenhal.
Also, Julianne
Wasn't
says that
Bowen Marsh was the old pomegranate, right, John?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He lasted like 12 years or some shit like that.
yeah. Julianne says, John, that you were more of a booker than a shower.
Yeah. I'm more of a booker than a shower. But what I do love about this episode, as Johnny was pointing out about the archery scenes, and this is the medieval combat nerd in me, like it's done better than any other episode I can think of. You don't have people holding bows for like a minute and a half. Like, if you want, I'll go get my bow and I'll try and hold it for a minute and a half. And yeah, I have some pretty scrawny arms here, but even if I had like big beefy muscles, like, it's not going to happen.
Just to pull it back takes maximum effort, man. Especially those long bows, old school. We're not talking about a compound bow that locks after you hold it. No, this thing has full, well, probably at least 150 pounds tension at its apex. So, ooh, I can only imagine trying to hold the damn thing. You know they're not holding anything with any type of tension in the actual shot, so when they're doing that. But egrets actually looked like she was shooting actual arrows. Like they were having her shoot arrows and then they lined in these other shots of the people running into the arrows almost. How she was leading them. It was beautiful. Yeah, John. I really loved it.
I feel
Yeah,
like,
I'm sorry to sidetrack so much, but that was like my big takeaway from this episode is that as far as I can remember, of all the episodes of this entire series, the combat is more realistic.
Mhm.
And it's my one other honorable mention would be 6ix9ine.
Yeah, with the Ramses.
Like just the big fracking mess that is.
Mhm.
Like that's what it's like. And I've been in a few messy situations in my life, but I've never been in full on melee, ridiculous, insane combat. But yeah, I know the gist of it, and it's not like television shows get combat wrong a lot, and I can understand why they do. It's more dramatic or whatever, but it yeah, that was my big like high point for this episode. Like starting at this moment that we're talking about right now, like just like I said with the archery, because like that's something I do. I haven't shot a deer in about 12 years because it's cold and it's early and it's fucking November and I don't want to be standing in a tree. But it's like, hey, you don't just sit here like that. Yeah.
You know what I just thought about during this scene? Oh, Three Finger Hob and his fucking
Yeah.
cleaver, man. Holy shit. I forgot about that and how badass that was.
It's after they get like in that it happens in that whole sequence where it's it's after the giant I think this is not 1-1. Jesus. What's his name? Meg the Mighty.
Dongo.
No, Meg the Mighty. I think it's Meg the Mighty that shoots up a massive arrow and kills one of the Night's Watch members, and then it's Hob.
Dude, he sends that motherfucker to the moon, man.
Yeah, and it's really scary. Like if you watch it for the first time, you're concerned if that's John. Like that wouldn't be John's death, but it's like the guy that's standing right beside John is the one that's taken out. So you're just like, what? But yeah, Hob does awesome and takes the cleaver, that massive cleaver, and just starts hacking away. And then Jano Slint runs away and hides with Baby Sam and Gilly. Like, man, really?
I wish Gilly would have knocked him out with the ham, honestly.
Yeah.
But, whatever. He would have went down like a sack of potatoes. Pun intended.
Yeah. Gilly whacking with some salted pork, I guess. So
You said whacking and pork. Hashtag pork whacking.
whack some pork.
I'm such an
salted pork. Oh, delicious.
Yeah.
And I can have it for 39 days. Damn it.
I bet John does like salted pork. Hashtag John salted pork. Set himself up for that one. You're on Lent. Is it Lent, John?
What?
Yes, I gave up meat for Lent.
Oh, so you're a vegetarian.
For 40 days.
I'm a 40-day vegetarian. Yeah.
At least you didn't try veganism for 40 days.
No, bugger a bunch of that shit. I like eggs too much.
And yeah, so they have Jano Slit, and then after Hob and his epic scenes, we see Pip kills like 1 or 2 men, and then is sadly murdered by Egret with a arrow to the throat. And Sam says, Maester Aemon's coming. He'll take care of you.
Yeah, it was so sad, right? And Sam was so cool and calm under pressure. And he got one. He got one, and he was so excited about it, and he went back up to shoot another and got hit right in the neck. He died fairly quickly, is the only thing I can say, and at least Sam was there with him. One of his true friends he had left in the world, so I guess you couldn't ask more for that, more than that if you're gonna go, except maybe just a little faster. At least he had someone. It was tough, and you see both sides of it here. You understand what Egret's doing, but she just killed Pip. And it's really tough to see. What do you think, Sasa? While I'm waiting on John.
Yeah, like to see a named character, like one of the Night's Watch characters that we've grown to kind of love, but we obviously have missed him in the last few seasons just die. It's kind of harsh to watch. I can't remember if I think it's Pip that dies in. They just both left me. That Pip dies in the books. I can't remember but Gren survives this battle in the book. So I can't remember if Pip dies as well.
I can't remember how Pip dies, actually. Gren does survive. It's Don Illinois who goes down and holds the gate. Hashtag Don Illinois. Eggs equal chicken seeds. Bubba Husky coming up with the obvious. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Ha!
Yeah. But
Let's see.
and
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's a, and it's just sad that we see that Pip has now died. It's one of the few casualties that we get in this episode, and that also during this, Tormund is fighting Alistair Thorne. So, and
kicking his ass. I don't know if even fighting is the word for
it. So, John, what do you feel about Pip and Sam and Pip's death, and then Tormund and Thorne?
John, was Thorne like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest against women?
You hear that phrase come out of my mouth pretty often. Okay, Pip. I was a little heartbroken when he died, but then I wasn't. You know, if there hadn't been a consequential death in this episode, I would have been really upset. You know, I would have been like, it would have derailed me from my fandom almost as much as some Sand Snakes, but not quite as much. Thorne and Sam, I think we skipped over Sam tricking Janos Slinton to just get out of the way.
Oh, that was Gren, actually.
Oh,
they
yeah,
came out and said,
right.
"Oh, Thorne said he needs you, bro. You're of vital importance." Down at the bottom.
Because he goes,
yes.
He's like, Brother Slint, you're needed below. And he's like, needed below. Okay. And it's just like, he has to think about it for 30 seconds before
Why the hell would you want to leave the top of the wall any damn way? I don't know. He's not thinking.
I don't know. He's Janos Slint. Hashtag don't be Janos.
I mean, he's almost catatonic. It's not like he has not seen battle. It's weird.
Cersei fed him some fish pie, if I remember correctly.
Well, that may be book on. I'm pretty sure that's
book
only, but and Moon Boy for all.
Oh no,
I know,
that was the Kettle Blacks and Moon Boy, of course.
Moon Boy.
Can't forget Moon Boy.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, Johnny, you're not on our team.
Me and John are on the same team. John.
I'll be the fracking mascot or something. Whatever.
We're Team Cersei, so you're Team hashtag Team Wildfire. You're the honorary member. Just don't tell JR.
No, I will. If you want to be on Team Cersei, I didn't want this shit.
Hey, I'll be on Team Cersei. She's gonna turn good in the end and then save everyone.
I
Or
will
is he gonna-
totally. I'll be your propaganda machine to get you on Team Cersei.
Okay.
You can
I'm
be our
down with that.
13th member.
As long as I'm on the team. You know,
Yeah, I was
13's
just
a
like,
lucky number.
I didn't expect to be here, but I am, and I'm not going to ask to be resorted or whatever. No, I'm going to ride this like Moon Boy.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, we get Cersei Lannister. She does not appear in this episode, but she's an epic character. Yeah, we get Thorn, and he gets kind of wounded and then carried away. And then we see that Gren is now ordered to go protect the gate, and he takes 6 men with him. And John looks at Gren and is like, "You know, this is a suicide mission, right? Like, you're not most likely not gonna make out of this alive." But yeah, so we see that we lose Gren coming up in this, and that they've made it through the gate. Yeah, they get all that. And I guess Dongo is the one that dies.
Of course Dongo dies. You just said it all with the name. He's a red shirt from the damn beginning. We have a giant this episode named Dongo. Well, he's dead before I even watched the episode. You already know he's fucking dead. No one named Dongo is gonna live more than one
And-
episode.
Like, one wooma wom badass motherfucker. Like, yeah, that I could see naming your kid. Not naming your kid Dongo.
Oh yeah, and that's definitely a unisex name.
Like, that's a giant mom sitting here like, oh my gosh, that was the worst thing I ever did.
It's like being asked what you're like if the nurse comes by when you're heavily medicated and you're like, "Do you want to do the birth certificate now?" It's like, "Yeah, sure." What do you want to? What's the first name? Dongo.
If anybody plays golf, most people probably don't. But Bingo Bango Bongo is an actual golf game, and that's what I think of every time. And then it's just whatever. Okay, I'm not glad the Giant's dead, but I'm glad you killed that name. Thank you, D&D.
Yeah, 1-1 does not show up until season 5 because he's with Mance's camp, if I'm pretty sure.
Hashtag RIP Dongo. See, people are gonna get the wrong impression.
A
That's out of
Dongo ate my
context.
baby. Hashtag.
A Dongo ate my baby. I can't even do it. See, I done fucking butchered
And
that shit.
actually, in
Do
the
you know what a
episode,
dongo is? Sansa, a dongo. I've seen a dongo before. I watched a dongo fall. It was erect, and then it fell.
Yeah.
It fell.
It felt hard too.
No, wait, Johnny, do the Australian accent again. You sounded like my ex. A dongo ate my baby.
A dongo ate my baby.
A dongo ate my baby.
There you go.
I was in love all over again.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Um,
Oh, my God. Hashtag wet dreams.
But the suit performer who plays Dongo is actually Ian White, who eventually becomes 1-1. So there we go. Then after Gren and the men start their descent into the
We do
tunnel.
see Dongo again. Oh, sorry.
We have Sam come up to John and ask for more men to come down with Sam and release Ghost. Hashtag released Ghost happens. And yeah, we get that moment where John also has to deal with Stir, the Magnar of the Thens. And
yeah, he fights with a giant wooden spoon. I think he has a sidekick named Pot, and they like to say, "We're gonna stir the pot" right before they kick some ass.
So what do we feel about hashtag release Ghost and
Okay.
John fighting the Magnar of the Thens?
So first we see this point where Sam basically tells Ollie to kill Egret. You know, this is all Sam's fault. Just kidding. But Sam does give Ollie the courage and tells him to start fighting. So we see that at the start here. We get after, Sam runs back after getting Ghost out, and it kind of makes me mad going back and looking at it. This little bit of stuff they did. It wasn't much. A blur of Ghost running away, first person camera shot of Ghost, and then just kind of his facial shot. Why could they have not did this just a little more? It doesn't seem like that much, and I wish we had more. My gosh, we just need more Ghosts. But I was happy with this because I haven't
They
seen
need
Ghost
to
in
save
forever.
money for the polar bear in season 7.
Yeah, because that makes total perfect fucking sense, man. Please don't trigger me yet. No. But I did enjoy it. The whole montage of the fight scene, like we were talking about earlier, Sasa, that they actually used the first take of this, and that is a hell of a first take. Tormund's killing me, just with the battle cries. That's how you would be. He's actually the closest thing I've ever seen to a berserker. He just needs to be naked and barefisted, and then he'd be right on the money there. He possibly did eat some mushrooms before this battle. I would definitely believe that about Tormund. Uh, it's a good scene. We see John fight, stir, and well, I mean, it's gritty. It's not beautiful. It's like it would look. John almost falls off balance trying to dodge, and he's just barely getting out of the way. Um, I really love this fight. The only thing I would say about this is John would have at least had to slightly chip a tooth on that fucking anvil. If, anybody normally would be completely knocked unconscious. But the bare minimum, bro, you got to have a broken tooth after that. Other than that, I'm not going to really complain much because they have to keep Kit Harington's face kind of pretty. The ball peen hammer through the skull, fucking nice touch, man. The way he spits in his face, the dirty fighting. This is real. This is what I love about it. To your point, too, John, it's just gritty. It's like it's supposed to be. It's fucking disgusting, dirty, and almost feels like you're there because it's scary. I've been in situations, you've been in situations, maybe not with barbaric weapons like this, but other types of weapons. So yeah, they portrayed it as well as they possibly could cinematically here, I think. And I'll shut the hell up now. How long was that? Like 20-minute rant?
No. John, what do you feel about the whole fight sequence?
Well, now that you pointed out, Johnny, like seriously, there are way too many good sets of teeth in the show. Like, I like the show, but there are way too many good sets of teeth.
Grin is the only one. Like, come on. Like, it's like gingivitis is the #1 cause of all tooth decay. Makes you think of Ace Ventura.
I'm talking about these people who fight.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Like,
you can't forget the ladies in Molestown either.
the back 6 on the top of the right side of my face are fake. Because of shit like this. And it wasn't shit like this. It was like just like stupid shit when you're a teenager. Like, everybody's teeth are just like perfect. Jon Snow is sitting here probably with fucking scurvy because he's sitting here on the wall where they don't have any oranges or limes or lemons or anything like that.
I actually don't in the books. Didn't they get a shipment of lemons?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Mormont puts lemon in his beer.
Yeah, Jorma does put lemon in his beer, or lime.
One of the two, something like that.
Is it lemon or lime?
It's one of the two. I think that's how they stopped scurvy from happening. And also, Gior says that's why he still has all his teeth at 67. So,
but you never see John put lime in his beer.
No, you never see anything.
He's been up there for like 4 or 5 years. Like, his shit has got to be rotted out as hell.
Yeah, and think about how rotted Sam's teeth were at the Fist of the First Man, and all of a sudden he went to the dentist and came back. I mean, I want to know where he went to, honestly. We're just kind of like trashing shit now.
Sorry.
The dentist at the wall.
I'm being a continuity asshole. I apologize.
That's what we do, John.
This is supposed to be a fun talk through. Why not?
But no, I agree with you entirely. Like, as I said, this episode, the combat, it feels real. It doesn't feel choreographed. It doesn't feel. It feels messy. It feels grotesque. It feels gritty. People die. One of the things I loved about these books, and I'm not being a curmudgeon, is that people die. That's what made me fall in love with this entire series. People die. As much of a Tolkien nerd as I am.
Terry T says hashtag tooth plot armor. Oh my god, that's a good one.
Yeah, they all do have tooth plot armor.
Terry T, you might get entered into a hashtag contest that has nothing to do with this channel just because of that.
Hashtag.
Because that was awesome.
Might be getting that.
Hashtag.
Go check out the Cylon Johns, Terry T. I think I've seen you there anyway, but come on back. We might have a surprise in store for you.
But no, I love
this. Oh, go ahead.
The combat. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
No, I cut you off by just rambling like a big crazy. I was gonna segue into the egret scene, but I didn't realize you weren't done. That's my fault, sir. Go ahead.
I combat, especially like melee physical combat, is done so poorly so often in telly, and I think that's part of the reason I love this episode so much. Is because it really feels real. It's kind of like we were talking about 6.9. It is another one that it's just that whole straight shot cam that they do in 6.9, where it's just like the camera and it doesn't cut off, it doesn't change. It's like, yes, the
one shot.
That's what it's like. It's not pretty and gussied up and all this.
Well, also, this is the first time I think in the show that they've used the one shot where it's like the one where you see the entire sequence play out. I think this is the first time they've used that. So they use it a few more times. I feel like in season 8 we'll get another one shot.
Interesting piece of film nerd trivia. You know who originated that entire style of shooting? Sam Raimi. Who someone as young as yourself probably knows from Spider-Man, but Evil Dead. Evil Dead was the first movie to do the one-shot violent scene. You've never seen Evil Dead? Check it out.
You didn't watch scary movies for the most part.
And Evil Dead's pretty scary.
As John rolls his eyes. Yeah.
No. Sam Raimi is brilliant. He's capable of pulling off scary and funny at the same time. And what I loved about the remake of Evil Dead was that the director who did it knew that he couldn't do that, so he just made it terrifying as all get-go.
I'm sorry, Bruce Campbell. Oh my God, Ash is one of the best characters ever, man. God, I love him. I got introduced to him by a friend, and the Ash versus the Evil Dead. It's another one where he goes back in time with his fucking chainsaw hand and his boomstick. Shop smart. Army of Darkness. That's it. I have that one on. I have that one on DVD. I can't believe I didn't remember it, but yeah. Shop smart. Shop S-smart. He's still plugging his damn job even when he's in medieval times. Yeah, sorry. We'll segue to John and Egret here. Ollie, the shot heard around the world.
My just one kind of thing about the whole fight sequence is like John learned from Carl fucking Tanner that you have to fight dirty when it comes to fighting with people, like especially the wildlings. You kind of have to. You can't do fancy like as Braun would say. You can't do fancy lad fighting when you fight with the wildlings. But yeah, it's a well done, and they have done for this episode the behind the scenes stuff, and it's really awesome. And the next scene that we see is John seeing Egret for the first time, and literally a show season, so probably about a few months. And she ends up getting shot, and we get a cute scene with them, her dying moments. So I'd just say that it's a really sweet scene, and it's obviously played out differently than in the book. Cough, cough, Johnny. But yeah, it's a really good, well done scene, and you can see that he still well and truly loves Egret even after all that's happened. So
Yeah, so I'm going to pull an excerpt, read an excerpt from page 753 and Storm of Swords. I believe it's chapter 40 or 41.
50.
51, sorry.
It's John's
And
chapter.
this, even on the reread, I forgot how touching this is, but I'll take it off to where he finds Egret. Because in the books, he doesn't actually see Egret get shot. He is just kind of in the dark shooting at a bunch of wildlings. So, he found Egret sprawled across a patch of old snow beneath the Lord Commander's tower, with an arrow beneath her breast, between her breasts. The ice crystals had settled over her face, and in the moonlight it looked as though she wore a glittering silver mask. The arrow was black, John saw, but it was fletched with white duck feathers. Not mine, he told himself. Not one of mine. But he felt as if it were. When he knelt in the snow beside her, her eyes opened. Jon Snow, she said, very softly. It sounded as though the arrow had found a lung. Is this a proper castle now? Not just a tower? It is. John took her hand. Good, she whispered. I wanted to see a tower, one proper castle. I wanted to see one proper castle before I... You'll see 100 castles, he promised her. The battle's done. Maester Aemon will see to you. He touched her hair. You're kissed by fire, remember? Lucky. It will take more than an arrow to kill you. Aemon will draw it out and patch you up, and will get you to some milk of the poppy for your pain. She just smiled at that. Do you remember that cave? We should have stayed in that cave. I told you so. We'll go back to that cave, he said. You're not going to die, Egret. You're not. Oh, Egret cupped his cheek with her hand. You know nothing, Jon Snow. She sighed, dying. Phew. Read as best I could. Sorry for the trip-ups. That's a damn good part of the book. Phew.
Yeah, you get that, like, George knows how to write a really good death scene with her, but yeah, because I feel like that, like, when you're reading, it's like Maester Aemon will try and patch you up, and all of that stuff was given to Sam when he was talking to Pip. So yeah, Otila says that you did a really good study. So yeah, we've when trying to research and come up for this episode, we feel like, that's a big point in the book. So thank you, Johnny, for reading that. It was awesome.
Yeah, it actually made me emotional when I read it again. When I was looking this up, it's a tough scene, especially John thinking, not knowing if he had killed her, not even knowing if she was wounded, and then searching for all the bodies, desperately searching for her, and then finding her. It's a tough thing. Tough thing. I think it's even worse in the books than how it happened in the show.
Yeah, because he just kind of sees her get hit. He doesn't. Yeah, it's not like a question if it is his arrow or not. But yeah, she lays dying in his arms in the show and says, "You know nothing, Jon Snow." And they talk about the cave. John, how do you feel about your Game of Thrones crush no longer in the show?
Oh. Well, this honestly feeds into my biggest piece of tinfoil, which is that no matter how things end, John is going to survive. He's not going to want to, but he will. And no matter what, like, he could have the North, he could have the Iron Throne handed to him, whatever. John's going to go back to the cave. And he's going to sit and mope for the next 30, 40 years till he dies.
Becomes a Buddhist monk.
He's gonna become that crabby curmudgeon hermit in the cave. And like, don't go see that crazy son of a bitch. I heard he eats children.
No, he just wants to sit and pout. I mean, he has some good pouty lips, especially if we were talking about the show. Like,
You know what the kids will say about the old crazy man in the cave? They'll say shit like that.
oh, of course.
Jon Snow will then become a mythical legend. Da, 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 da.
The king of pout.
The king in the cave. The cave.
But no, yeah, I mean, it's a touching moment. And Johnny, thank you for bringing out the scene from the book because, yeah, I think it touches it even better. Especially that moment when he's like, was it my era? Like, it's really, you know, that's why this is one of the best episodes of this entire show. It is, you know, I love all the intrigue episodes. I really do. No, I'm a Tyrell. I can't help it. But it's all just graphic. It's in the one same spot, and you see for a book nerd like me, like I get my Hemingway from this, and I get my Fitzgerald from this, and I get to an extent my Hunter S. Thompson from this, and I definitely get my Grace Hare.
Like, I definitely see that Hemingway.
It's for someone who loves books as much as I do. This is a great episode, and yeah, it's a very Hemingway episode. It very Hemingway.
Not definitely For Whom the Bell Tolls. Possibly. What's the other one I can't think of right now?
Men at War.
Yes. There's one more. Got it right here, but I can't remember it. Damn it. I'm actually rereading some Ernest Hemingway right now, so that's apropos. Like that you brought that out. I gotta check out the other authors. Not as well read, but I will get there, my friend. That's why I have friends like you. Just to use you.
Hey, you know when I kick it, you're gonna get a bunch of my shit. Like Lauren can't take it all back to Scotland in 2 suitcases.
She damn will try. I know she will. Hashtag boob glasses in the chat. Hashtag Lauren, don't touch my shit.
Yeah.
Stop talking about you, Crockett, man. You're gonna live forever, bro.
Yeah.
Shut the
That'll
hell
be
up.
science where, yeah.
No, I want my ghost to sit there and watch the knife fight you two have over.
Dude, if you do become a ghost, look, I'm gonna take AVPs, man. Talk to me, bro. Okay? I'll record some shit. Try to talk to me. Let me know you're here. If you ever do end up becoming a ghost, I will definitely see if I can try to prove that shit.
No, my first pressing of Ben-Hur. I want to see you and Lauren knife fight over that.
Oh gosh. No. I don't want a knife fight. That's the most dangerous type of fight. I hate knives. Like, you have better opportunity of getting a gun out of someone's hand and surviving a gunshot than you do at close quarters with a knife. And usually the person with the knife stabs himself like 60% of the time.
Anyway, but yes, setting a storybook, novel fights to the side. We see Ed has now been left in charge of the command of the wall, and that he decides to drop the scythe. And they drop the scythe, and that pretty much pulls back the rest of the defenses, and then the fight's essentially over at this point. Tormund wants to keep going, but John's like, Tormund, it's over. After seeing Ygritte die, he's like, it's over. And Tormund says, I want to throw you from the top of the wall. And we see Sam and Gilly get reunited. And Sam finds out where Slint has been this entire time. So, what do we think about this? And then we'll leave the final scene to the end.
Well, I mean, dropping the scythe was very cool. Will we get to see it again in season 8? Will they retreat back toward the wall? I won't get more into it than that. I don't know why they would. But it seems like it could be some possible stronghold. But given how easily Eastwatch by the Sea went down, I doubt it. Unless they're forced back there for some stupid reason. I think they'll head south. Sorry. Getting off a topic here, like usual. Yeah, as I said, they tested it here to see what the scythe would do. As you notice, they didn't send that many men up the wall. It didn't look like more than a dozen to me. It seemed like Ed pulled the scythe a little too soon as well, or perfectly timed, but in my opinion, too soon because the chain would still wipe them out. You don't even have to have the scythe hit them. So I would have waited for them to come up a little faster. But of course, you don't know how long it's going to take for the ice to get broken around the scythe as well. And I'm breaking down the scythe way too much. And we find out there's still 1,000 to 1. You know, Ed, which is right here in Edison Tollett, which I don't even know if that's the right name or if that's.
It's not the actor's name.
Yeah, I mean, like, Dolores Ed is just, I don't know, cool, calm, and collected here, even though he didn't want to take command, and this is foreshadowing later for him becoming Lord Commander, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And also, you know, they got this small victory, so this will give them a little bit of hope for survival. Things won't be as dire, but there are many people dead here. And, yeah, of course, Slint had to hide with the salt pork. Now, does that make him Azor Ahai? Is he going to be reborn from salt and smoke now? Nope. He gone.
Gets his
Sorry, I just went on a crazy tangent, though.
No, it's okay. Yeah, he just, yeah. Janos Lind, oh, man. John, what do you feel about the Scythe and Tormund basically wanting to fight still, but they're like, no, fam.
Yeah, it's the fight's over. Just give up. Hey, give up and fight another day. And by the way, Dolores Ed, this is a bit of a spoiler, but for me personally, best Lord of the Watch ever.
Elston?
I would totally vote Dolores Ed. They don't go into it in the show, but in the books, they like somebody voted for Dolores Ed out of a joke, and he actually gets all sorts of votes. And it's like, yeah, he's like,
no one really dislikes him.
Yeah, guys, we're fucked.
He's got that personality where he doesn't really meddle in anything. He has his opinions, but he mainly keeps to himself and says, yeah, he seems to choose his words wisely. I would have to agree with you.
He's not a little kid like Jon Snow. He's not an arrogant, failed soldier officer like Alistair. You know, he's not a dirty old drunk like the I forget his name, the guy from Eastwatch. Like when it comes down to it, like Dolores Ed's a pretty good vote.
Is it Dennis Mallister? Is that it?
Yeah, Sir Dennis Mallister, I'm pretty sure.
I had to pull that one out of the back of the fucking brain.
Yeah, well, Dolores.
The number one models have much larger brain capacity than the rest of us do.
Takes my Google a second to find it, though.
It's Dolores Ed is the Eeyore of Westeros.
Oh yeah, he is.
Can I give a shout out to Al, Red Sox fan? What is up, my man? If y'all haven't checked out Al's channel, go check it out now. And this is Sasa's Twitter father and my Twitter father-in-law, because I'm Sasa's Twitter husband. And all other personal details will be left up to speculation, because you'll never know anything about me. I'll never tell you.
And Bobby is my Twitter mother and Al's Twitter wife. So, And I guess we could explain the Twitter children being Foy Hexa, another awesome content creator, and Justin Thomas, Top Shelf
Who,
Fandom.
by his own words, is a pretty shitty dude, but an okay content creator. No, man, I love Justin. You're awesome, bro. If you're out there and you check this out, which I doubt you will because you're always fucking busy just like me, buddy. Nah, they're awesome peeps. Love y'all. Love y'all.
You know,
Love
Al is
everybody in the
kind
chat.
enough that he's going to on his channel with his with his live games. He's going to redo the 1990 Reds, which to me is probably the greatest team that's ever been formed in baseball, versus the 1990 A's. He's going to redo the 1990 World Series. So
What
he took, or at least two of the games.
Ozzie Smith? Is it Ozzie Smith?
No, he was a Cardinal. He was a Dirty Bird.
Oh, that was Cardinal. Trying to think of who the hell was on that team. I remember him.
Rob Dibble.
Yes.
Um,
So I was like, what the hell is happening here? Anyways, I'll try to get us back on track.
Derailed by baseball.
Anyway, yeah, check out Al Red Sox fan. Also, Al, if I'm not mistaken, will be on AU Pack Mule's channel soon. I'm not sure the date, but he'll be there. I was just there today. We talked all things trailer, of course, as everyone's been doing today. So that's why I didn't have much to say in the beginning except some trolling. Yeah, definitely go check that out. Sasa, let's bring it back to you. What did you think about
The size?
I don't know, the size. Yeah.
It was.
You know,
It's
Sam returning to Gilly too. You know, they get to reunite.
yeah. The fact that obviously this is Sunday is when I will be on AU's channel. When we see Dolores take charge of the wall, it's like yes, because we see that John ultimately trusts Ed, and how he's becoming kind of a character on his own that doesn't technically need to have somebody else around him that's like a John character or something. Like for that moment, he didn't need his, I guess, upper tiered character to be around him, which is kind of awesome. And then we see Sam and Gilly, and it's like they're both like, I made it, and it's like, you made it. And then you just see Janos Slint sitting in the corner, and it just brings up what eventually Sam talks about in 502 with the election of the Lord Commander, where he says, a wildling woman, a baby, and Janos Slint sitting in the corner during the battle for the wall. Like, Sam uses this moment to his advantage later on, which is kind of awesome. And then with John and Tormund says, I'll throw you from the top of the wall, boy. But he likes yelling, and he says,
I think it says I should have. Yeah.
He said, you should have. So
I. Don't you yell at me. I'm sorry.
it's like, you should have. So it was just kind of a crazy thought, whether it's because he's kind of grief-stricken over the loss of Egret, or just because it's like, hey, then you would have won, kind of thing. Who knows? But the scene that we see after this, though, we can all talk about it, is basically John and Sam. It's a John and Sam led scene, and they talk about how they may have won the night before, but they may not win again, and that Mance is coming for them. And basically, John decides he has to go treat with Mance Raider, and John, come back, is a thing. So
Yeah, John giving Longclaw to Sam as to not lose it again as well. I think as John definitely going on a suicide mission here, seeing it as the only way to save everyone. And you know the plans change, but John does know what he's doing. Especially, you know, giving up Longclaw says it all here. We don't really realize you know how dire his consequences are if you're not super paying attention right now. But you know, he does talk about going to treat with him, and you know, does he talk about trying to possibly kill him here?
It says he plans to assassinate Mance Raider.
Yeah, so he's just gonna get close enough. He knows Mance will treat with him, and he knows that the wildlings will scatter once they have no leader. So it's an okay plan, and it's almost all he has because they may survive one more night, but not two or three. And it's a really touching moment. It's hard, you know, Sam letting go of something else he loves again. Kind of the same way he had to let Gilly go. Just got Gilly back, he has to let John go. Yeah, and those two are his whole world, as cheesy as it sounds.
His BFFs and his girlfriend, his BFF and his girlfriend, and her baby are Sam's entire world and his adoptive family. Yeah, it just shows that it's a great way to end the episode with kind of seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, they also do find Gren's body in this scene. I forgot. And they see that somehow they were able to kill Mag the Mighty and all that. And Sam and John talk about it's like, these brothers died for you. We need to burn the bodies. So they're already preparing for what's next. So, yeah. John, what do you feel about the last scene in the show, this episode?
I think you put it best. Yeah, it's, you know, you just had to, like I said earlier, this show, if you think about it, this episode is so Sam centered. And you know, yeah, he had to, and this isn't a general thing. It's like, hey, you've got this little kid. You know, especially with wildlings, it's not a general thing. But you know, he's like, hey, you got this little kid to protect. I'm gonna go out and be as much of a badass as my fat ass can be. And
The fat ass badass.
the fat ass badass. Somebody hashtag that, please. And then, and then, you know, the moment with John, like, don't lose it. It's really poignant because there's that moment earlier in season 1 where Mormont says that to John, essentially. And it's don't lose this. It's a pretty poignant moment. A little gushy. Real life never gets me anything like that, but we all know that Telly gets me gushy every once in a while.
Fictitious characters get you.
Fictitious characters. Real people, fuck them.
Fictitious characters get me gushy. Oh god. Another hashtag. Anyway, we've reached the end of the episode. So,
while we take a break for John to change his underwear, we will put in some plugs. I guess I'll go ahead and go first and take it from Sasa, like I rudely do all the time.
I'll just have to do it on your channel one day.
I'll let you.
Oh look, Ben. Ben, we just talked about the whole episode.
What's up, lovely? You son of a, you bastard. No, like tomorrow, the first edition of the Nooners of Location and Lore, and thank you, Kenzie, for helping me with the title on that and the thumbnail. With The Night Who Smoked the Laughing Crew will be tomorrow. It's going to be with all my friends. We're going to have A. Pack Mule on. I think he wants to do Winterfell since he's doing a big thing on Winterfell, so I'm going to announce that now because no one else has told me yet because everyone's still deciding.
I
But
thought I told you mine, Johnny.
huh? You
I thought
didn't
I told
say.
you.
You didn't say what you were doing. You never told me.
Should I now, or should I do this off camera?
No. Well, I mean, whatever you want to do. No one else has told me. We're gonna be pre-recording them, so we'll do it whenever you want to, man.
I wanted to do the High Garden.
Sasa wanted to do High Garden. Ooh, y'all gonna have to fight
Did I
over
just
that.
steal it? Did I just steal it?
Ooh, y'all are gonna have to fight over that one.
Yeah, no, Sasa
I can
have
pick
the
a
High
different. I can pick a different place.
We'll talk
Yeah,
about it
okay.
after.
Yeah, we can
the
talk
stream.
about
Ladies
it
first.
after.
Sasa can have the High Garden. May I have
Yeah.
the Iron Isles?
There you go.
Okay, that's a good one.
There.
That'll work.
Yeah.
Ooh, Iron Islands would be really good. Lots of
Grey
history
Joyce.
and lore. And both of those would be
Squid!
really good locations. I'm surprised no one has picked the God's Eye yet either. But
Nope.
you know, if
Good.
you're staying with, you know,
Shout out to Clarissa, who would like to talk about Old Town and the Citadel.
ooh, Clarissa, yes. Didn't you say that the other night? See, I'm
Yes.
seemingly forgetting shit, but I got you
It
here right
happens.
now.
Yeah, that's what Clarissa's saying. She wanted to talk about the Citadel, more specific, Old Town.
Oh, we have a list of them going here. Yeah, this would be fantastic.
Yeah, we're gonna do.
Yeah, Tommy, now you have an abundance of blessings.
Yes. Weekly series.
Yeah, Nooners of Location and Lore. Check it out. It's Johnny's new pet project or new baby. So what else do you have?
My baby Sansa. Hello, Sansa. My baby of locations and law. We won't talk about the fingers because they mean nothing. Maybe
You'd
the
have to
veil.
do it with your by yourself. Just have a stand-in and be like Peter Pan.
Nooners of
You can have
location
High
and
Garden,
law.
You're not a Tarly.
Yeah, we can just
You're not a Tyrell.
the location would be Peter Baelish's
That
brothel.
might be your favorite spot, but that's just because we own it.
Uh-oh.
Ben says that he wants
Hey.
Molestown.
Ben and Molestown. I got it,
Oh,
man. Hell,
Steak by Lily
hey,
Black.
some crazy shit happened throughout history in Molestown, so that's actually a damn good location. I hope you're serious, because I'm going to pull you on there. Yeah, hashtag phrasing. I'm going to pull you and yank you, Ben. Yeah, so we got Cylon Johns Friday. We got many more podcasts of this coming up. I'll let Sasa talk about that a little more. But the Quickie of Ice and Fire series is coming up Sunday. Oris Baratheon. I have a Children of the Forest Quickie in the works. I'm trying to condense it down. I have so much information there. What else we got going on? I can't even freaking remember.
A podcast.
Oh, yes. Okay. Podcast on Joffrey and Tommen and Cersei compared to Visenya, Maegor, and Aenys. So, of course, Joffrey being Maegor, Tommen being Aenys, and then we're going to compare Cersei being Visenya. And you can also look out for a video I'll be making on the Visenya-Cersei comparison. So, because I think that needs to go into some good detail, because the Dowager Queen has some great parallels between the two, especially later in life. So that'd be fun to talk about. Yeah. I'll put you in Molestown. I'll put you in that hole, Ben.
John, do you have any thing that you would like to tell the people about?
Yeah. Music
And you have to give your ratings too, people.
Oh yeah, we do.
10 out of 10 Janos Slint Jingly Jowl.
Jingly jowls. John.
I'm gonna go with Johnny here. 10 out of 10 shortly pulled bowstrings. Because it drives me fucking nuts when I watch this on telly and people are holding bowstrings for like a minute.
Hashtag arrow anger.
Arrow anger. Yes. Yes, that's my ranking for the episode. 10 out of 10 shortly pulled bowstrings.
And do you have anything coming up on your channel or stuff you're doing?
Well, we did 4-9 tonight. The season 4 playlist on my channel will be coming up tomorrow. It would have come up tonight, but I sat through an hour and a bloody half work meeting that could have taken 5 minutes. That I had to drive in I left a half an hour early, showed up 20 minutes late.
Did you get them TPS reports done, John?
Oh my gosh. Like, it was just the most ridiculous, irreverent bullshit that I have ever seen in my life. Like, do you people like the sound of your voices this much? Like, okay, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, this needs to be done. Let's fuck off. Like, it could have been done in 5 minutes. Nope. Hour and a half. So, season 4 playlist did not come up tonight. It'll be up tomorrow. God bless.
Mm-hmm.
I forgive you, John.
It's all right.
And I bless you.
Late. And I apologize for that already. So I'm done apologizing.
It's okay. We'll put it in the descriptions for this and for the children when we record that one. I would give this episode 10 shot to the heart. Like the song, but I'm not gonna sing it because even though we're not monetized, #copyright. Yeah, it was a good episode. Every time I want to watch for a long time, if I ever wanted to watch an episode of Game of Thrones, I don't know why, I would instinctively put on this episode, because it's a great episode. I'm happy we got to cover it live with all of you amazing people. And yeah, the upcoming stuff for me is, as usual, I'm on this channel here. I'm on Johnny's channel on Cylon Johns. I will be on AU's channel not this weekend, but I believe next weekend, for his 30 days of live streams. If you haven't checked that out, Johnny was on there today, which was awesome. And some other upcoming stuff for me is we will be doing more podcast editions of Episode Club, because 37 days and about 30 something, less than about 30 episodes of the show means a lot more episodes to come. We'll probably do double stacks of some episodes just to
Ooh, does that involve like ecstasy or? Oh, not that double stack. My bad.
And I don't know, but I should also too be coming out with probably a podcast on a theory that most of you have figured out is about, but it's 3 queens versus 3 queens and how they play out in history. It's been in the works for a while, just haven't had the time to put it out, but putting it out now because no time like the present. That should be coming shortly. And yeah, I don't know exactly which episode we'll be up to by next Wednesday. I can assume it'll be some episode in season 5, either Sons of the Harpy, which is episode 4. Yeah, we'll make that the goal. We'll go to Sons of, or High Sparrow, which was our original goal for this week. One of those 2 episodes will be on next Wednesday. And with that, we will see you all in the next episode of Episode Club, which is the children. Bye, everyone.
Bye. I take it from the 3 queens right here.
Yeah.
We're going to do great.
# the 3 queens. Who is who? Find out when the video comes out.